Hello, my friends. Jill Ortiz here, coming to you live from my Empowered Fitness community for women over 40 on Facebook, a free group for women who are looking to get energized, confident, and strong. And today is Wednesday, so every Wednesday at noon Eastern, I'm here to answer your questions on fitness, nutrition, weight gain, motivation, menopause, all the things that are holding you back from seeing massive success and getting to where you feel like you want to be. So I'm glad to have you here. And so you might also be seeing this, you send it out via email to my email list, and I also post it on YouTube for replays. And so I hope you will watch this through. We have about a dozen ladies who are new to our Facebook group who came in with some struggles, with some goals, and with some questions for me. So I'm going to be answering those today. If you have a question, whether you're watching live or on the replay, pop it in the comments below or email me, and I'm happy to answer your questions. Another great opportunity for you, I've included the link to my calendar so that you can sign up for a free one-on-one chat with me. I love whether I end up coaching you or not, whether you end up doing one of my programs or doing something that's more hands-on with me. I like to have a call with everybody, and it doesn't matter how big your wallet is. I want to make sure that you're feeling heard. I want to make sure that you're getting answers right off the bat as to what's going on and what's going to really help you see long-term success. Now, I love to get to know those who are doing my programs, whether I'm coaching with them or if they're doing kind of like a DIY, do it on your own program. And so I'm just here to help. So I would love for you to sign up. If you haven't, have a free 45-minute game plan call. And what we do on those calls, so I have somebody trying to join the group, I want to let them in. What we do on those calls is we go over where you're at now and where you want to be, and what's been holding you back, and what's going to help propel you to massive success. And it's comfortable, that it's not high pressure. There's no pressure to buy anything on the call. It's just an opportunity for us to feel each other out and for you to explore some options. So I absolutely encourage you to book a call with me regardless of whether you have particular questions or not. So I'm just going to go person by person so we can get a full story, kind of get the picture of what's going on, and then answer questions. And again, if you have questions, go ahead and answer them or ask them below, and I'll answer them during the live. Hi, Vicki. Hi, Cheryl. Good to have you on live. Okay, so we have Teresa here, and she says her goal is to lose 30 pounds. She says she doesn't have a plan, and she doesn't have accountability. And so we know that these things are really important. These are the keys to success: having a solid plan, having accountability. Sometimes having a plan is the accountability. This is my practice every single week. This week's plan is not in hand. It's out in the kitchen because I'm constantly looking at it. What's my meal plan? What do we have going on in our life? And what is my workout for the next day? So I fill out a planning calendar every single week, and then I post to my groups who I'm coaching. I say, okay, it's your turn to fill yours out. I'm doing the work. I'm being successful. You do the same. And that's the accountability, and that's the planning piece. Teresa's question is it better to make small changes or to change everything at once? So when you start a journey, is it better to make small changes or is it better to change everything at once? This is funny because I have seen a lot of health and fitness type coaches on social media saying, you shouldn't change everything all at once. You should make these tiny little changes and it'll take a couple years, but eventually everything will come together. Who wants to wait years for everything to come together? I think if I've learned anything from a lot of authors, one that really comes to mind is Grant Cardone. He is the author of the 10X Rule. He runs the 10X conference every year. He says that everything that you want to achieve is going to take 10 times the amount of work that you think it's going to take to achieve it. If you've ever been in project management or taken a project management class, I did that during my MBA, and we used my wedding as our project. projects always go out of scope and out of budget and go way past the time, right? It's scope, budget, and time. And so many projects go beyond what you anticipate. And so it's up to you to be managing those things. And so I believe that the problem with taking tiny little baby steps, like saying, I'm just gonna focus on nutrition, or I'm just gonna focus on trying to be successful and consistent in a few workouts, or I'm gonna do one workout a week to start, is that you're never gonna get anywhere. And the big thing with only doing fitness or only doing nutrition because you wanna save yourself from being overwhelmed is you are going to be banging your head against the wall when those things are not aligned, right? And so we have to make sure that our fitness and our nutrition are in alignment. Otherwise, we're never going to get the results that we want. And I talk about this a lot when we go over, when I have these calls with you ladies, and I take 1 billion notes, right? So this was with Christy like yesterday. And when I'm taking 1 billion notes and I'm going, okay, I get it, because you're not in alignment. There's something missing here, right? We're not aligned. And so that's the problem if you do one thing at a time. The other thing is that when it comes to women going through hormonal changes, there's a lot of other factors that also have to be accounted for. Sleep and stress and hormones. And so if we only tackle one little thing at a time, then it's going to take us forever and we're going to have no clue why we can't get anywhere. And so I don't think making like tiny one-off changes at a time is going to help you. I think we need to look at this journey on the whole and take inventory of what's going on. And you know, I have a resource for you in our Facebook group. Let me just pinpoint it so that I can tell you exactly where it is. It's in our guides. And this is something that I have my clients do every quarter. So my clients are going to be hearing from me at the end of March when I tell them it's time to do our quarterly audit. Okay, guide 7. If you're in Jill Ortiz's Empowered Fitness community for women over 40, this is a free exercise. Okay, so we have day 1, 2, 3. It's broken down into 3 days. And on day 1, I think you're going to download maybe a worksheet. It's on Google Drive. And then there's 3 videos that are going to take you through the exercise. And it's basically looking at, if I can remember correctly, our fitness, our nutrition, our accountability, our goals, our time management, and kind of take an inventory of these different areas to see if we are in alignment and if we are going to be achieving success. So we call that a fitness audit. And so I have my clients do it quarterly. Certainly you got to do it once to see where we kind of like missing it. And then if you do it often, then you can kind of check in and see, what have I been working on and what's the outcome of that? And what do I need to focus on a little bit more, okay? That's also the value of having a comprehensive program like my Empowered Fitness Mastery program, where you're not piecemealing like, oh, let me buy one of Jill's fitness programs, or let me buy one of Jill's little nutrition tools, or let me buy on Jill's website, jillortizfitness.com, Jill's sleep mastery workshop. You're not buying all these tiny little things one off. You're getting it all at once. You're getting access, and we're looking at it again on a global perspective, saying, okay, what are we missing so that we can adjust all the little things and make big change happen, right? So that Teresa can lose 30 pounds finally and not keep wondering what's going wrong, right? Okay, let's move on. We've got April. April, I'm not sure what April's goal is. She didn't share that with me, but it looks like weight loss. She says, I don't have the energy in me. That's what's holding her back. She said she's also had neck and back surgeries, and she's asking, why is it so hard to lose weight? So again, perhaps we're not in alignment. Perhaps April's not adjusting. If she's low on energy, my guess is maybe she's not doing workouts, right? especially with her neck and back surgeries. Perhaps she never had the confidence to get back in, or hasn't eased in, or hasn't finished her physical therapy. But we've got to get her back to exercising with what she can do, not focusing on what's holding her back. I just had a conversation with somebody else, and she said she hasn't worked out in quite a while because she has a bad knee. Now, if you have a bad knee, that does not stop you from doing upper body work and ab work and any other work, because you can do, I have exercises for people who do them seated, and I've gone through my share of injuries, and I always just adjust, but I don't stop my workouts. And then we have to look at nutrition, right? What are we doing wrong? Maybe there's something that's missing. We're somehow, if weight loss is really hard, something's not aligned. And so we need to look at it. Sometimes, and a lot of times, you need a professional who has experience in this area, especially if you're going through hormonal changes. Doctors who are not educated in menopause are not going to know the answer for you. A nutritionist might not have a specialty in this area as well. And a personal trainer might not have any nutrition or hormonal weight gain or weight loss experience. So that's why it's really important to be looking at this from the right lens, okay? And then it won't be so hard, promise you, okay? It doesn't mean you won't have to work hard, but it won't be as hard, and you'll have much more understanding and much more empowerment with understanding the tools, okay? Let's move on to Amber. Amber, I know we were supposed to have a call yesterday. She said there were some really bad storms and she was stuck in some traffic. So I hope to get Amber back on my calendar this week. But her question is, how do I lose weight now that I'm older? Okay. So when it comes to aging, the one thing that we know, other than let's not talk about hormones for now, we know that come in our 30s, we start to lose muscle mass and bone mass. And it's kind of alarming. It's at like around a 3 to 5% rate per decade. And so we're just losing it if we're not building it or maintaining it. And then once we hit the 50s, that escalates to about 10% per decade. So you're losing 10%, and then in your 60s, you're losing 10%. You lost over 30% because it compounds. So maybe you lost 40 to 50% of your muscle and bone mass by the time you're in your 70s. That's really not that old, right? We're living forever now. And we're staying active, and so we have more longevity. But what we need to do is we need to maintain and build muscle mass. It's kind of like, I like to say it's like your 401k, right? Your 401k is not going to grow if you don't contribute. And so we do that. We build our 401ks so that we have financial security in our retirement years. Well, we need the same thing for our health, our wellness, our strength, our bones, our joints. And so we need to be building muscle over time so that as it starts to decrease naturally, we're either stopping that decrease or we're increasing. The way to do that is to put resistance on the muscles, is to strength train. And you have to be pushing past your current limits. So that does not mean picking up 2-pound weights and lifting up for a billion hours or walking with weights and thinking that's going to help you. So the way to lose weight now that you're older is to continue to build muscle, because that's going to raise your metabolism. And then you need to eat appropriately, right? So we do have more sensitivity to carbs now in our older years, now that we are losing our estrogen, progesterone, and our other hormones are kind of a little bit wackier. And so we need to be not like taking out carbs, but we have to be on point. So we have to understand what our caloric needs are, what our needs are for carbs, proteins, fats, and we need to listen to our bodies and feed it what it needs so that we can build this healthy body that's going to support us, support our joints, support, longevity and activity, and help us to feel energetic, right? So that's my advice for what we need to do when we're older, okay? Let's look at Kim. She's got a lot to say here. So we'll start with, I see it says, Kim wants to lose weight, okay? She says what's holding her back. Well, she says, I don't eat horrible, but apparently this is my downfall. I work out several times a week, and I believe that I have balanced hormones. So Kim would be one of those people who I would classify as, I'm doing all the right things and I'm not getting results. What's wrong? Is it my hormones? And her question is, I don't know why I struggle to lose weight, and I've even gained weight as of recent. How can you help me accomplish my goals? So we need to do a deep dive. That's why I love doing my calls with the ladies. I will most often ask you to explain what you eat in a day, when you eat it, when you wake up, what stress levels you're at, what you've got going on, what exactly are the workouts that you're doing, what do you get for recovery? Are you cycling what you do? You change it up, or has it been the same thing forever? And once we really start to go through a lot of these things, maybe I'll ask you how you sleep. I'll ask you if you have any symptoms of menopause. I generally get a pretty good story and a good background because you guys are amazing at sharing with me on these calls. And I can immediately pinpoint exactly what's going on and then start to offer, options for what we can do in terms of packages and programming and that kind of stuff. So I think sometimes, obviously as women, there's not some age where we're just taught everything about what's happening in our bodies and how they're changing and how that's going to affect, our goals and reaching them. But I would say first we want to know, Kim, what exactly are your goals? How much weight loss? Why is it important? What is it you want to see? Because some of us would say, I want to lose 10 pounds. Then we lose 10 pounds. We're like, yeah, this isn't really what I wanted to see. Either you're now skinny fat, or it wasn't enough. You wanted to lose more, or you don't feel tight and toned. That's really what you wanted. And maybe you didn't care where your weight was as long as you felt confident and comfortable and had more energy. And so we really need to understand what your goals are. And then we need to put together a plan that's going to not be hard, right? Easy to follow, enjoyable, that will match the fitness that helps you achieve that goal and the nutrition that it helps you achieve that goal. And they've got to be aligned, right? Then we'll look at some of those other things, sleep, stress, hormones, all these other little things that really do contribute. And we'll manage it all, and we'll stay on top of it, and we'll see what brings results and what doesn't help. And let's do more of the stuff that does help you and make you feel great and is enjoyable for you. I think too, what I mentioned before is we need to kind of cycle what we're doing. We can't do the same thing forever because our body gets really smart. And it tends to adjust to what we're doing. So if you told me I haven't changed anything in 2 years, I've been doing the same thing and it used to work and now it's not, what's the problem? I say, well, you haven't changed what you've been doing. So giving your body times of rest, giving yourself times where you're pushing harder, times where you're doing, higher calories, times when you're doing less calories. It's really important to change things up to keep the body guessing because the body wants to stay the same. It's just you that wants to change. So that's what we'll do is we'll really look at this. You'll feel confident because you'll have a toolbox that you'll fill with knowledge and new tools and new approaches. And then I think too, part of my value in this is having somebody who's got your back, who you can go to and kind of work on the mental parts of the journey too. It may not be easy and simple, and you may need a little bit of support and accountability and confidence building until you build it on your own. Okay? All right. Connie wants to lose weight, and she says she's going through menopause. That's what's holding her back. And she asks, when does menopause end? So technically, menopause is one day of your life. It is the day when you have gone 12 months without a period, right? And what happens in our period is we release an egg, right? And if it's not fertilized, then it passes. And we are born with all the eggs we're going to have. And then we start losing them when we're around 13, right? And so the eggs, it's when your eggs are gone. So we don't always do that at the same age. It's not like everybody turns 55 and boom, everybody hits menopause. For all different people, it's different. Some people surgically are put into menopause if they have maybe a hysterectomy or have, ovaries removed or whatever they have going on. So I can't tell you when your day of menopause will come, but you may not even be referring to that, Connie. You may be asking about when are the symptoms of hormonal change going to end? And that again is something that who knows? It could be right when you hit menopause. It could be years afterwards that you stop getting the severe symptoms. And what I've found is that we have control over those symptoms. And there's different ways that we can help to control them. Certainly a big thing is that a lot of people will get hormone replacement therapy. And we have different views on that. Some people with predispositions to cancers may not be up for, estrogen replacement or certain HRT methods. But some people are totally for it and say, whatever helps my symptoms, give it to me. And so no judgment there either way. I am not there yet, so I can't tell you what I would choose. But if life is hell, then I might ask for some help. And we also, though, it's really important to know that you also control some of those symptoms because over the years, giving women different tools and with the education in this area, I know that when our bodies are out of alignment, when we have too much stress, and that can come from different things. It can come from the foods we eat, can come from the type of exercise we do or don't do. It can come from mental stress of work, home, family life, marriage, children, responsibilities, house bills, State Farm insurance, all the different types of stress. If you're going through that, it can make the symptoms worse, right? And so we do have some control. And it could come down to making sure you have more self-care and that you are in alignment with these things. So we can help to abate some of the symptoms of menopause. I can't tell you when you're going to stop seeing those symptoms, but we can take the steps to help ourselves. And that is one of my specialties and something that I really love to educate on because I want you to know what's going to help you. And so those tools I do have for you. So again, another opportunity for you to book a call with me so we can go through and figure out what are the tools that will help you the most, whether it's a full-on, coaching relationship or just some little tools, paid or even free. Okay. All right. Next one. So Lori doesn't give me her goal, but she says, nothing I try works. And she says, I don't know what will work. My doctor says to try Ozempic. You know when I say that? Ugh. This is one of my new nemesis. I am really not happy with hearing from clients, future clients, potential clients that their doctors are very quickly looking to medications, although that's what doctors do, synthetic medications for weight loss that are actually meant for other reasons. They were originally meant for people with diabetes, people who are so obese that they had life-threatening amounts of fat floating around their organs, that their heart could stop at any moment, and that it'd be better for them to go on an appetite suppressant that would help them to control their appetite and stop eating themselves to death. Now, this has become just way too fast of a solution that leads to way more issues. So if you have, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, even 100 pounds to lose, I think you can do it. You can do it on your own. I think it takes discipline. Of course, it takes the right plan, but if you haven't given it, and you think you've tried everything, but if you haven't worked with me, you haven't tried everything. I know that, right? There's at least one more solution to try before you go that way. My issue with Ozempic for most of the ladies that I talk to is that, I've got like 50 of these notepads because I have like 20 of these calls that I'm telling you to set up, at least 20 a week. And I would say 90 to 95% of you ladies who are overweight and struggling to lose weight are under eating, and your metabolism has slowed. So why would a medication that stops you from being hungry and tells your body, oh, I'm not hungry, how would eating even less help you? It's not going to. And you know what's going to happen instead is you're going to start starving to death. Your organs are going to be deficient of really necessary nutrients, calories, carbs, proteins, fats. Your cortisol levels are going to rise because your body's going to be like, what? We just don't eat anymore. Your metabolism is going to slow because you're not eating anything. And your body's going to go into starvation mode. Your metabolism is going to get even worse. And guess what happens when you undereat? Especially if you start upping your exercise, which I don't even know if you'll have the energy to do, your body doesn't look to the fat for energy. It looks for the muscle and the protein. And so you're going to start losing weight from your muscle. Yes, and fat. You're going to lose fat and muscle, but mostly muscle, and that's why you hear about Ozempic face. You see people who all of a sudden, like, their face is super sunken, they've gotten way too skinny, they look sickly, they start looking like a skeleton, and then you start seeing other complications. And the problem as well that we're seeing in these medications, because they haven't been around and used this way for so long, is that once you come off of them, your body's got no clue what to do. And so then the weight comes on very quickly and will come on twofold. And so you're really ruining your chances at a healthy life moving forward. Did I scare you yet? Can we try this together before you do that? That's why, doctors who are supposed to be here for our health, they're just looking for a quick fix. They're looking to get you out of their office. They're not saying, okay, Melissa, tell me all about your fitness and your nutrition and your sleep and your this and your that, right? They're not sitting around getting your full story. They're just saying, okay, I have a drug for that. And that's not really very doctorly, is it? Right? If it's going to end you up, well, maybe that's what they want. They want you back in their office with new issues. Okay, let's move on from this subject. It's a sore one for me. Okay, we've got Jennifer who says that she is struggling due to her laziness, something I don't have a lot of empathy for, because if we want to achieve anything in life, we have to work for it. So I'm a hard worker. I love hard workers. I love people who are like go-getters. So that's who I would ideally work with. But we can always change. We can always get out of that. That's why I'm not giving up on Jennifer. And she's asking how to regulate hormones. So again, we have a few different ways we can get our nutrition, our fitness in alignment. We can get our sleep, our stress management, and then our hormones in alignment through replacement therapies if we feel we want to go that direction. But I still feel that the other things should be aligned first, even if you do hormone replacement therapy. This should help you if perhaps you're struggling with energy due to hormone changes, then this can help you. But I also think making sure we're eating enough, that we're moving, right? So if you do 10 jumping jacks, you feel heat, right? It's because you're creating energy. It's because you're building energy. If you don't work out, you're not building energy, and that's not very, very motivating to continue to build energy. So we need to get you on a regimented plan to start, even if it's 10 minutes a day, 10 or 20 a day. We need to start getting you consistent. Same thing with those who say, I don't eat because I'm just not hungry. It's because that's what you're used to. We need to get you on a regimented plan to get you hungry again, to think about it, fuel the fire, put the energy in that furnace and build the fire again. That's what we want. Okay, moving on. Robin says, does this really work? Yes, it does if you work. If you're consistent, again, it doesn't take perfection, but it does take consistency, doing mostly the right things over a long period of time, okay? And I also have short-term goals that will get you wins that will keep you motivated. Let's look at Debbie. We've got just 1 minute left, so I'll save the rest of them after Debbie for next week. Debbie says she wants to lose 15 pounds. She's got no extra time. And she asks, how do I get rid of menopausal weight gain? So I think we went over the menopausal weight gain, right? We want to lift heavy. We want to eat appropriately. We want to manage our stress and our sleep and our hormones, okay? But when it comes to time, if we have 24 hours in a day, we all have that same amount of time. I know we have different responsibilities. Most of us are ridiculously busy and can't get everything done in a day. On my today's today's daily planner, I prioritized 3 things and I added 1 thing that I'd love to do, but if I don't have time, I won't do it. That's it, right? These are my priorities. And then on my other side, this starting with shower at 9 a.m. because I have to write that in. Otherwise, I don't know when I would get it in. I have everything scheduled out, right, for the day. This is my time blocking, okay? So number 1, become a time blocker. Get control over your day. Know what it looks like. Know what you're doing. Know where your time is. And then put your priorities on your time blocking, right? So you know when you're doing your priority things. You can add little buffer zones in here saying, if I have extra time, this is like bonus time, then I'll do something that, that I'd love to do. So what we need to do is we need to take out the things that are not going to help us to our goals. That's the first thing that I put up here is my goal for the month, right? And then the priorities that'll get me to that goal. And then I put them on my schedule for the day. What I don't have on here is, random social media scrolling and watching a ton of TV, although, 8 to 9 p.m., maybe that's where I can fit that in. But I got to make sure I get my priorities done first. So if you're here, then my guess is you have a goal. It has to do with your health, your fitness, your confidence, your energy, your relationships with other people, your success in life. And so my guess is that exercise, right? So I don't even have to put my exercise on here because I wake up at 6 and I start my workout around 6:30, 6:45, and it's done by the time the kids have to go to school. So I don't even have to write it in because it's a given. But if your exercise is that important part of your day and your personal health and fitness and goals and confidence, that's got to be a priority. If you're not used to making time for that, you don't need extra time for that. You need your regular time for that. That's super, super important. It has to be a priority. And maybe there's other things that are happening that are not priorities that you don't need to be doing, that you can either, I forget the 3 Ds. It's delete, delay, or delegate. I remember the 3 Ds. So there's things that you can delete, right? What do I not even have to do? For me, going to the golf range. Would love to go, but for now, I've got goals. I've got to reach them. I'm going to delete that from my day, okay? Things I'm going to delay, I don't know. Whatever that is. Maybe it's meals. No, don't delay meals. Whatever things, maybe, okay, so when I think about things that I delay for the last week, I've delayed calling State Farm. I finally put that at 10 a.m. this morning. I put it on my calendar and I did it. I delayed it the other days, but I finally said, okay, I have to do it. And then delegating would be that my son can get himself his lunch. He's homesick from school. My husband can walk the dogs, right? And delegating things. My kids can empty the dishwasher. My husband did the laundry yesterday. I've got a great family. Things that I can delegate to others because I have not hit my goal, and I need to make sure I'm doing those things. So you've got to make your exercise and your meal prep and that kind of stuff part of your day or your week. And that's where this really helps, right? What are the days that I can do things? What are the days that maybe I can't do things? I made Saturday and Sunday of this week rest days because my kids had soccer games early and really far away. And so I made sure that my workouts got done the first 5 days of the week, right? And so, and if we have soccer games all day on Sunday, then I know I need to maybe order grocery delivery or order more pre-made food this week than I do normal weeks, or I need to set time aside on Monday to do my meal prep, right? You have to get in control of your time management. That's why it's on that fitness audit that I was telling you about earlier. It's a big piece of your journey, being planned and in control of your days so that you can do all the things that are going to get you to your goals. Okay? Thank you for joining me today. If you learned something, let me know. If you enjoyed, give me a little heart, or hop on Google and give me a Google review, Jill Ortiz Fitness. And I look forward to seeing you a little bit more this week. Tomorrow, Thursday, you'll see a post from me called Throwback Thursday, and that's where I maybe share a story, or I ask you to share stories too about who you were in the past and who you've become, or who you are now and who you want to be, and appreciating what brought us to where we're at right now, and the struggles that we've gone through. I'll tell you something. I struggled with my weight for a lot of my life, probably up until the last 10 years. But without that struggle and without all the different ways I've struggled, I would never understand my clients, right? Going through injury, going through hormonal change, going through, emotional times where I learned that I was an emotional eater or a boredom eater or a volume eater, going through many injuries in my career and all of my athletics, and having periods of struggle, having periods of depression, having periods of really high stress at work, struggles at home, just so many things that I've struggled with over the years that has actually helped me to the point where I think everything I hear from you all is something that I've gone through too, and that I've come out of stronger and can therefore give you help, advice, support, and love in those areas. So tune in tomorrow for that Throwback Thursday post and contribute and just be part of it, okay? You're in a really great community with a lot of amazing women who've accomplished incredible things and will accomplish incredible things with you. So, all right, bye. Have a wonderful Wednesday.